Welcome back to Learn with Chris. I'm Chris. Today I'm going to continue talking about Norse mythology, and I'm going to talk about Yggdrasil, the world tree. So this is a very core concept in Norse mythology, but not just Norse mythology, many mythologies and religions all through history and all through the world. So the idea of a world tree, so you have a tree. Trees obviously have branches that go up into the sky, and trees have roots that go down into the earth. So the tree in all of these different religions through history and these different stories and mythologies, the tree was like let's call it the center point or the anchor between the heavens and the afterlife. So it's a connection. It's a connection. So us people, humans living on the earth, the tree represents a connection into the heavens, to the gods, and also into the ground, into the afterlife, because very often whatever versions of afterlife, whether hell or whatever, it's often seen to be under the ground, right? In the ground, in hell. So many traditional mythologies and religions has a concept of a world tree, including the Norse. Now, the Norse, they called their tree Yggdrasil, which is a very interesting name. So I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about the realms that are attached to Yggdrasil, what Yggdrasil means, and I'm going to look at some different, I'm going to break out my books, and I'm going to give you some quotations related to Yggdrasil. I find this to be a very interesting topic. So Yggdrasil has a very interesting meaning. Ygg, Y-E-E-R, is one of Odin's names, and it means terror or fearsome. And Drasil means horse. So Yggdrasil can be translated either as fearsome horse or terror's horse or Odin's horse. So why would a tree, not just a tree, but the tree, the world tree, be called Odin's horse? It's very interesting. And there's different theories and different ideas, but it sounds to be because people ride horses, right? Can you ride a tree? Well, you can if you're hung from it. And Odin was. So a little bit later, I'll read passages, stanzas 138 and 139 from Havamal, where Odin did hang himself from Yggdrasil to get the knowledge of the runes. So Odin rode the tree the same way that you would ride a horse. So Yggdrasil, Odin's tree, very interesting name for it. So Yggdrasil has 9 realms or worlds or lands. The Norse word is Heima, or Heim. It could be translated as realm or world or land. And there are 9 of them, and they're like attached to the tree. So again, as a world tree, Yggdrasil anchors other realities or other places or other worlds. So I'm going to talk a little bit about these 9 realms, although what exactly they are is not entirely clear. We're pretty sure about 8, but the 9th one could be this or could be that. It's never written so clearly as to know exactly what the 9 realms are. We know that they're 9, but we don't know exactly what are the 9 realms, right? But we'll do our best to explain it. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, so the 9 realms. The first one is Asgard or Asgard. This is the realm of the Aesir gods. So this is where Odin lives, Thor lives. So the primary family of the gods live in Asgard, and that's the top branch, I would suppose, of Yggdrasil. The next one mentioned would be where the Vanir gods live, Vanaheim. So the land of the Vanir, or the realm of the Vanir. And those are the other family of the gods. So that would be Freya, Freyr, Njoth, the sea god. So two of the realms attached to Yggdrasil are the lands of the gods, the Aesir and the Vanir. And then we have Midgard. Midgard is where we live, Earth. It's the world, our world. It's where the humans live. And remember that Midgard was created by Odin and his brothers Vili and Ve when they killed their grandfather Ymir, the first being, the first giant, and they crafted or made Midgard from his dead body. The fourth realm is Jotunheim, the land of the Jotun. But there's another one called Muspelheim, which is the land of the fire giants. So basically there's two realms, one for the frost giants, the Rim giants, and then for the fire giants. Now, very interestingly about the Muspelheim, let's say the king of that realm is Surtur, and he's the fire giant who has a flaming sword. He will be the individual who actually destroys Yggdrasil in Ragnarok. He actually burns down the tree with his flaming sword. Potentially one of the main reasons why the giants are considered evil, and that giants are the enemies of the gods, because if he's going to burn down the tree, he's going to destroy all of the realms attached to the tree, including Midgard. So the creation of Midgard by Odin and his brothers is going to be undone by the giants. Another realm is called Niflheim, and this Nif means mist, so it's a land of mist, and it's cold and dark, and very importantly, there's a dragon in Niflheim called Nidhogg, and this dragon is said to be under the tree, under Yggdrasil, and he's eating away at the roots of the tree, trying to damage it and destroy it. I'll read a little bit about that later, about Nidhogg. Now, I find very, very interestingly, so Nidhogg is a evil dragon trying to destroy the world tree. So if the world tree represents creation and what is, and then there's a creature trying to destroy it, that, of course, would be very evil, right? So it's an evil dragon. What's quite interesting is in the Voluspa, the very last stanza of the Voluspa mentions that after Ragnarok and after the destruction, the world, it's a cycle. So there'll be a new world, there will be a new tree, there will be new gods, there will be new people. It'll continue into a new cycle. But Nidhogg also will be in the new cycle. So evil itself will survive into the next cycle. So it isn't like it's not going to be like a perfect world, or, evil is destroyed and everything is paradise. No. It continues again. So evil will continue into the next cycle. I find that to be extremely interesting. Okay, a couple more realms. So realms 7 and 8, Elfheim, elf. So, and Svartalfheim, dark elf. So the land of the elves and the land of the dark elves. So one other thing, of course, about Norse mythology is that in addition to having gods and heroes and dragons, they also have other, let's call them mythical creatures like elves and dwarves. The dwarves, of course, the great craftsmen who made a lot of amazing equipment and armor and weapons for the gods. Who are the elves? Very, very unclear, but they are said to have two realms. The land of the light elves, Elfheim, and the land of the black elves, or dark elves, Svartalfheim. Although it's not entirely clear, but perhaps the dark elves are dwarves, so it's not entirely clear what they are. There's very little information about them. And that brings us to the last realm, the ninth realm, which we're not entirely sure what it is. Some people say it's Helheim, hell, but other people think that hell is in Niflheim. It isn't its own realm, it's attached to Niflheim. And then another possibility would be Nithvaveler, Nithavaler, which is the land of the dwarves, the land of the dwarves. But if the dwarves are the dark elves, the Svartalf, then it's the same name. It's the same name as Svartalfheim. So we're not entirely sure what the ninth realm is. There's different debate and different ideas about it, but perhaps it's Helheim. We're not entirely clear about that. So, but basically, we have our world tree, Yggdrasil, and attached to the tree there are 9 realms. So let me read from the Voluspa, where we get that idea that there are 9 realms. This is going to be Voluspa stanza 2, so right at the beginning. And this is the Volva talking to Odin. She says, "I remember the giants born so long ago. In those ancient days they raised me. I remember 9 worlds, 9 giantesses, and the seed from which Yggdrasil springs." 9 worlds, right? Okay, so I mentioned about Odin, the name of Yggdrasil, Odin's horse. Now, this is from Havamal, the story of Odin riding the tree. So, Havamal, stanza 138 and 139. Probably one of the most famous quotes in all Norse mythology. 138. "I know that I hung on a wind-battered tree, Yggdrasil, 9 long nights, pierced by a spear and given to Odin, myself to myself, on that tree, whose roots grow in a place no one has ever seen." So Odin sacrificed himself to himself, piercing himself with a spear, Gungnir, hanging from Yggdrasil for 9 days. Stanza 138. "No one gave me food, no one gave me drink. At the end I peered down, I took the runes, screaming I took them, and then I fell." So the sacrifice of Odin to gain knowledge, I mentioned this multiple times before about Odin being obsessed with learning, with knowledge and information, because he was fighting against his fate to die at Ragnarok. So he hung from the tree, Odin's tree, Yggdrasil. So, very interesting name for the tree. Nobody would kind of assume that the meaning of a tree would be somebody's horse, but that's what it is. Okay, I'm going to read a couple of other quotes about Yggdrasil. This one from Grimnismal. Just one second for that. So Grimnismal, another poem from the Poetic Edda. So the idea for Grimnismal is Odin was, he always took the form of humans. He always traveled around, went on adventures or whatever. So he was kidnapped or captured by a king, and he was like tortured for like 8 days or something. And only one person took pity on him, Odin, as he was a captive. I think the prince, the son of the king or something, who gave him food and water. And then Odin, as a reward for this person helping him, he told him a lot of information about the cosmos. And that's where we get a lot of information about Yggdrasil from this poem, Grimnismal. So, stanza 31. Beneath the tree Yggdrasil are 3 roots that grow in 3 directions. Hel is beneath one, Jotunheim beneath another, Midgard beneath the third. So the roots of Yggdrasil go to 3 places: Hel, Jotunheim, and Midgard. Stanza 32. A squirrel named Ratatosk runs along the trunk of Yggdrasil. He takes words from the eagle. He tells his insults to Nidhogg below. This is quite interesting. So there's an eagle at the top of the tree of Yggdrasil, and Nidhogg, the dragon, is at the bottom eating away at the roots. And there's a squirrel who is a messenger. So the eagle tells him something, basically, tell Nidhogg, blah, blah, blah. And then the squirrel will run down the tree, down to the roots, and insult Nidhogg, what the eagle told him to say. And then supposedly Nidhogg would then say something back, an insult to the eagle, and then the squirrel will run back up to the tree. So he's communicating between the eagle at the top and the dragon at the bottom, delivering insults between the eagle and the dragon at the bottom. I have no idea why this is in the stories, but it is. So, and another bit of information from stanza 35, also Grimnismal. The tree Yggdrasil endures more pain than any man guesses. It's eaten from above by the deer, on the side by rot, and beneath by serpents. So there's some deer at the top of the tree eating the leaves. The tree itself is rotting. And at the bottom, the roots, the dragon, the serpents are eating away at the roots. So the tree is in pain, Now, this brings us to the Norns, because they're taking care of the tree. And this is going to be from, how do we say this? Gylfaginnin, which is a story in the Prose Edda, which I do not own. So I'm going to have to read from my computer. So Gylfaginnin 16, chapter 16. This is from the Prose Edda, not the Poetic Edda. And it says, "It is further said that these Norns who dwell at the well of Uther take water of the well every day, and with it that clay that lies about the well, and sprinkle it over the ash," Yggdrasil, "to the end that its limbs shall not wither nor rot. For that water is so holy that all things which come into the well become as white as the film which lies within the eggshell, as it is said here." And then he quotes directly from Völuspá 19, which I can read because I do have the Poetic Edda. And Völuspá 19 says, "I know an ash tree named Yggdrasil, a high tree sprinkled with white clay. Dewdrops fall from it upon the valleys. It stands forever green above Uther's well." So the Norns, the 3 Norns who carved the fates of all gods and giants and people, they're at the bottom of the well, in Uther's well, and they're actually taking care of the tree as it's being eaten away by different things. Okay, I'm just going to give a little summary. Okay, to sum up. So Yggdrasil is the world tree from Norse mythology. It is an anchor of different realms, the realms of the gods, the realms of the giants, the realms of the elves, of course, the human realm, Midgard, and of course the realms of the afterlife, like Hel or Niflheim. Very common idea in many, many mythologies, the concept of a world tree, anchoring the heavens, the world, and the afterlife. Very common. You're going to see this in many, many different mythologies and religions across the world. You're going to find it in Native American mythologies. You're going to find it in European mythologies. You're even going to find it in Asia too, Chinese or Korean. It's like everywhere. A very, very common idea. So Yggdrasil has 9 worlds or realms attached to it, and it will be destroyed at Ragnarok by the fire giant Surtur with his flaming sword. But it will be born again because Norse mythology is cyclical. So this world dies with Ragnarok, but a new world will be born. More new gods will come. Actually, I think I mentioned before that some gods will transition into the new world, like Balder will, and so will Thor's sons, Mothi and Magni. And then 2 new humans will come, and as I mentioned earlier in this video, evil through the form of Nidhogg will also come into the new world as well. So it won't be a beautiful paradise. It won't be perfect. Evil will exist, and everything supposedly will just do it again, right? It'll continue again, a pure cycle, right? Okay, so actually, while I got that on my mind, let me read the very last stanza of the Voluspa, where Nidhogg is mentioned. So this is 70, let me find it. 63. So the last stanza of Voluspa. Then the dark dragon will come flying down from the dark mountains, that glistening serpent. Nidhogg will bear corpses in his wings as he flies over that valley. Now I must retire. So that's the Volva, because she was raised up through necromancy from Odin. He summoned up a corpse, a dead witch, and asked her all of this information. And after she has told her story, she retires. She goes back to being dead again, basically goes back to sleep. But the very, very last stanza is about Nidhogg in the new world after the rebirth of the world. So evil continues. We will not be a perfect world. So, thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed this video about Yggdrasil. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you in a future video. Take care.